just arrived in Busan, unfortunately not by train, but I am excited to spend the next few days exploring the city that's famous for its beautiful beaches, its seafood, its nightlife and its annual film festival. I did think that one of the best ways to start my trip is by coming up in a cable car, and we're getting the most incredible views over the city. It's a 1.6 kilometre long line, and wow, what a beautiful way to start the trip. So this is the Songdo Yonggungsa Cloud Bridge, which is just beneath the cable car overlooking the city. And you can walk around, get great views of the ocean. And it's so called because Songdo means island. And then actually a lot of this area does get covered in cloud, especially in the morning. But now in an afternoon, it's not a cloud in the sky. Very pretty. So for today's lunch we have come to a very famous noodle restaurant which you actually can't make a reservation at. There's usually queues outside and it's famous for its wheat noodle. This is Choryang Milmyeon and we've just been served our noodles now, and the first surprise is this is a cold noodle dish and it looks absolutely delicious. I wasn't quite sure initially about having cold noodles, but I'm actually quite into it. It doesn't taste wrong at all. It's not particularly a complex flavour. There's a lot of garlic in there, a little bit of sweetness in the chilli, and then it's also served alongside this watery broth which is made from the starch when the wheat noodles are made. Very tasty. My first stop is at Gamcheon Culture Village, which is a residential area which was designed in the 20s and 30s to bring workers away from the port area but still mean they had labourers close by. And now it's an incredibly pretty, still residential area but very popular with tourists, and it's easy to see why. It's so colourful, there's art all over. Lots of bright colours, especially the buildings themselves, so I'm going to take a little wander around, see what's going on. I could honestly spend all day here. It's so pretty. There's loads of really interesting shops as well. Lots of people taking photos, of course. But it's very clean, as everywhere seems to be in South Korea. It's all done very nicely. But it does seem like a really fun area, to be honest. There is quite a lot of tourists here, but it's really colourful, really vibrant. Lots of people in traditional dress as well. So our hotel is overlooking the beach and it's got the most amazing infinity pool with great views. And I can't get over the weather here. It's just been incredible. We've been so lucky. I've been so impressed with the beaches here. Obviously, South Korea isn't normally somewhere people would think of coming for a beach holiday, but they're absolutely immaculate. Everywhere in South Korea seems so clean. And they are utilised a lot. There's a lot of people out on the beach today. Not many people in the water, to be honest, but lots of people walking along, playing games, taking photos. We have got the best view from up here. It is about 6:30 and surprisingly cold now, especially after how warm it was all day. But we have decided to come out on a relatively luxury yacht tour around the harbour to see the skyline at night time, and this is the Diamond Bay luxury yacht. Busan. We've got up nice and early, and today we have come to the Blue Line Park to catch the monorail. And this is a very cute monorail, multicoloured, going up into the hills. We have got some very interesting forms of transport here, but I'm quite into this one. It's very cute. All the different capsules are decorated with little cartoon characters, and yeah, nice start to the day. Our next stop today is at Haedong Yonggungsa Temple, which is on the cliff edge. Now this is often billed as being something that was built in the 13th and 14th century, but actually it was built in the 1970s. And just behind me is the pagoda, which is the Traveller's Pagoda. So people come and pray here for a safe journey. So despite this being a very busy place with a lot of tourists, as it is dedicated to Buddhism, then it's also considered a very meditative place. And actually if you walk around you can see a lot of people praying and meditating, taking in the environment. It is just after 4 p.m. and we have come to the United Nations Memorial Cemetery. Obviously a very poignant place. It's dedicated to the United Nations soldiers that lost their lives during the Korean War. So there are a number of flags over there representing the different countries, and every day 10 o'clock they raise the UN flag and lower it at 4 o'clock that we've just seen. And it's very peaceful here. There's a chapel, definitely a place that you need to come and visit. There's also a lot of information to actually learn about the war itself. So if you're feeling that you need to educate yourself, it's a really good place to come. For my next meal, I have come to Sealand Sashimi Center. Basically here, you select the fish that you want, and then it's prepared right in front of you and turned into sashimi. And it's slightly out of the way from the main tourist drag, so it is a lot cheaper than a lot of places that you'd get sashimi in Busan. A lot of fish I recognise, a lot that I don't, and here is a tub of weird looking penis fish. We've come up to the 7th floor whilst our sashimi is being prepared, and I'm very excited to try officially the freshest sashimi I've ever had.
Soy sauce with the wasabi.
So we've been served 2 types of sashimi. One is halibut and one is called dabs, which I haven't heard of before.
They're 2 very different names. This is dabs. It's like dabs on the street.
Yes, isn't it? And we've got some soy and wasabi.
But first I'm going to sample some cock.
It's a little chewy, to be honest. Let's try some of the dabs.
The halibut in the soy is not.
Oh yeah,
I like
I'm very into the soy and the wasabi flavour, to be honest. Our final activity is paddleboarding, which is always good fun. And the water's looking quite calm out there. We are near Hwan An Beach, which is just in front of Choryang Bridge. So we're doing the kind of opposite of the walk of shame in our wetsuits with our paddles down the high street.
Whoa, beautiful. Wow.
Do you know it is a tiny bit choppy, which does make it slightly more challenging. We've already had a couple of people fall in. But this is lovely. The light at this time of the evening reflects on the buildings over there. It looks so pretty. Well, it is my final evening in Busan, and I have just had an absolutely brilliant time here. I definitely could have extended it by a few days, although I still do have a few more weeks in South Korea, so maybe I will come back because it just feels like there's so much to do. It's a really beautiful city to start with, gorgeous beaches, I love the skyline, surrounded by the hills as well, and there's just so much going on. Anyway, I hope that you guys have enjoyed exploring Busan with me, and make sure to subscribe.